And welcome back to another fish room video. We are going to feed a lot of fish in this video. And this is the most awkward start to a video ever. I was about to feed these stingrays. They're a little bit bigger than they look. That little thing there that just went underneath that stingray is a baby stingray. Yeah. I'm going to get that one out, and I see another one over there. Hopefully too many of them haven't been eaten. These are decent sized stingrays. This is 5 foot front to back. I was going to feed them some of that stuff, which is the Dimax Jumbo Achieve, the really big pellet, which they just inhale. But if I put food in there now, those little fish are going to get munched. Look at them. We're going to get some water in a tub. There's a tub. There's some water. I'm going to find a net. Stingrays are venomous, so we're going to try not to get stung by a stingray. Get me out. Come on. This baby stingray. Well, I'm not entirely sure when they were born. I'm guessing yesterday because one of them has a little bit of a bite on its tail, because big stingrays eat little stingrays. I'm pretty sure they're going to be okay. So they are going in a separate tank. It looks like the big girl over there to the right near the pump. She's about 60, 70 centimeter diameter. She's pretty big. They do get bigger than that. She looks very pregnant, so I don't think these came from her. I'm pretty sure from the one slightly smaller, which looks a little bit thinner. This girl down here, which is around about maybe 40, 45 centimeters, something like that. But we have 2 stingrays. There may be more. Sometimes they'll give birth over a day or so, or they may have given birth, she may have given birth to a few of them, and they've unfortunately got eaten. I know. Whoopsie. The one time I don't check them at night, and you have baby stingrays. Now with stingrays, you can tell the sex of them by looking underneath. That is a boy, and that is a boy. Okay, we have 2 boys. Boys have got 2 little bits underneath, and girls don't. So we have 2 stingrays. And there's some turtles there. How cool are they? You do need a reptile license if you want to keep them. They'll be in another video eventually. This tank here is the same water as the tank you just saw. There we go. So they should be fine. This tank is just hooked up to this pool, and this pool, which is a 7 foot by 3 foot pool, is hooked up to this pool, which is a 9 by 5, which is hooked up to that, which is a 9 by 4 tank with more fish in it. There we go. There might be some more stingrays later on. I should feed these now. So those are the Dimax pellets. They are the, what are they? Jumbo Achieve. I was going to call them Massive Achieve. Massive Achieve is the next size. Decent sized pellet though. And the rays seem to like them. Most other fish seem to like them. I'm pretty sure that ray there is the one that just gave birth. She's not looking nearly as big as the others. Something has been eating my aquaponic lettuce, by the way. There are leaves missing. Look at that. Ah, so frustrating. But anyway, this video I'm going to quickly go through what I feed a lot of these fish. So most of these are American cichlids. There they are. Come here. They're so scared. A lot of different American cichlids. There's some plecos, all sorts of bits and pieces. Live bearers, CORYDORAS. Oh, I think there is some super, super tiny little baby CORYDORAS. Yep, just under where my finger is there. Not that you can really see them. But the main food that I feed all these guys, and I don't like hatching brine shrimp out because it's a right pain, is I'm using that stuff, which is the shell-free brine shrimp egg. So they deshell the eggs, super, super easy. They're actually more nutritious than a newly hatched brine shrimp. Most fish don't need live food. There's a few exceptions and stuff like that, but all you want to do is get water like that. Where are my eggs? There are my eggs. They come in a packet. They're actually cheaper to buy these than normal brine shrimp eggs. And by normal, brine shrimp eggs that actually hatch out. So you want to soak that for about 5 minutes or so. And they are the eggs that have been deshelled that haven't actually hatched. So they've actually got more nutrition than a hatched egg, because the little hatched brine shrimp will actually use energy breaking through that egg husk. And if you've ever sort of hatched brine shrimp eggs before, it is a right pain. They always take longer than what you need, and then when you do hatch them, you have too many all at once. So unless you've got multiple setups and you're obsessed with doing it, it is a pain. I'm not obsessed with doing it. I find it a super pain. This is so much easier. And that is, I think, how many grams is that? That's 50 grams. I think they retail, here, there you go, $22 for one of those. One of these lasts, and I don't know how many fish I've got. There's probably, oh, there's a lot of baby fish. Oh, look at those, they're cool. A lot of baby fish. So I think we've probably got maybe about 5,000 baby fish at the moment. And that is lasting us about 2 weeks on average. And that's feeding a couple of times a day. So we're going to just let them soak there while we feed some of these bigger cichlids. So here's some wolf cichlids or dovey cichlids. There's a few blue eyes. Where'd you go? I point to you and you go. There's a blue eye cichlid. Sorry. They know it's feed time, but they don't want me to catch them. So once they get to that sort of size, which is around about that 1 centimeter sort of size, feeding them this stuff, which is just a tropical flake food. So this is just the Dimax brand. Doesn't overly matter what brand you use. I'm not sponsored by Dimax. Boo, I know. But it is still a good food. We're going to feed them quite a bit. So it is a flake food. We're just going to stick it on top. And they're going to eat it. So depending on the flake food, some of them you need to soften a little bit first, some of them you don't. Perfectly fine. Looks like a lot of food, but no, there are a lot of fish in that tank. Some of these guys, we're going to crush it up a little bit for them, because there are so many fish in there and they are a lot smaller than the dovey you just saw. Well, maybe about half the size. That is a ridiculous amount of fish, isn't it? So they're going to pretty much eat all that within maybe a minute or so. So overfeeding fish, if anyone hasn't told you, overfeeding fish is when you put too much food in, they don't eat it, it sinks to the bottom, makes a mess. Kind of what happened in this tank here. We've just dumped some snails in there to fix that problem. But these little babies, they were fed, but they weren't ready to be fed. Because if you've ever bred fish before, certain species take a little bit longer than others. When I'm in a rush, I'm dumping food in every tank. Whoop, they didn't eat their food. Food grows fungus. That can screw their water quality up. This system has turned, well, this tank has turned off this system. So usually I've got them running through, as you can see, with all the trickles and stuff like that. But that, and there's some convicts in here. We just have some albinos and regular convicts. Num nums. They go through a lot of food. And I think we've also got baby guppies up here. So these are our albino blue guppies. Very, very cool fish. Baby CORYDORAS. So with the CORYDORAS and stuff like that, you can use flake food. You can just soften it under the water a little bit, and then it'll just go straight to the bottom. Once it hits the bottom, generally the fish are going to find it. There we go, num nums. There are a lot of CORYDORAS in there somewhere. But yeah, that is the basics of flake food. When the fish get a little bit bigger, and we will go around the side, there are a lot of fish everywhere. We have this tank here. If you can sort of see the reflection, maybe I will, there we go, that's a little bit better. Hello. So these guys are around about that 5 centimeters, maybe 4 to 6 centimeters sort of size. So these are Trimax, very cool fish, very aggressive. They get obviously big. If I put flake food in with these guys, oh, and I'll do it on the end, they go absolutely crazy. But they're getting to the point now where they're a little bit too big for flake food, because you end up going through a ridiculous amount of flake food for no apparent reason. So now that they're that sort of size, getting them onto sort of something like that, which is your Vitalis cichlid pellets, which is a soft, moist pellet that looks like that. So once those guys have finished their flake food, we're going to pop some of those pellets in. But roughly about, once they get to, yeah, maybe about that 4 to 5 centimetre size, onto pellets, and then they don't really bother going back onto flake food again. There's some little tiny ones in there I really need to get out before they get wiped out. I keep saying that. Eventually I won't have to get them out, will I? Okay, now that they are fed, what we will do is feed these guys with our baby brine. So I'm just using a pipette like that, and they just go nuts. So they'll pretty much inhale all of it. So when you feed baby fish, you actually want to see their little bellies fat. So even though these guys have had flake food and now they've got baby brine, they will still need more food than that. There's some medakas in there. They're getting very black. Very black medaka. Probably because they're black medakas. I've also got some baby barbs and stuff around the other side, which I do need to feed. Our T-bar convicts are starting to look like T-bar convicts. Again, a very, very cool fish. So these guys and girls are probably big enough to start eating flake food, but they still like the baby brine shrimp. Yeah, they're starting to get colour. That's very, very cool. You can almost tell males and females now. So I'm just going to keep them another month or so before I have some of these available in my shop. Very cool fish. Get the same size as a normal convict, but they are a different species. Unlike wolf cichlids that get, 70 centimetres plus. Like to kill everything. Howl at the moon, and whatever other wolves do. So we do have some little plecos in there too, so we're going to feed them in a bit. Wow, they've just inhaled all that food. I'm going to grab some of this stuff. We're going to go around here. We're not feeding the catfish with some of that, but we do have in here, look at them. They are long-fin cherry barbs. They're a little bit slower to the food. Barbs are not as smart as cichlids, unfortunately. So cichlids see the food, boom, go for it. Barbs are like, oh yeah, there's some food. I'll consider my options. I might eat this piece. There they go. Very pretty fish. Haven't got their colour yet, so they all look like girls, but there are boys and girls in there, obviously. These are about, I don't know, about a month and a half old, maybe? I don't know, I lose track of time. Some gonios in there, need to sort them out. But yeah, but that is just a simple feeding every day of baby fish. You're not a baby fish. 2 or 3 times a day is ideal. At the moment I'm only feeding these twice a day. But the more you feed them, the faster they're going to grow. Water quality, all that wonderful stuff. So yeah, you can't really keep that many fish in a 2-foot tank that's not connected to a whole lot of other ones. But there, hopefully you like this video. Just feeding fish, which I do every day, all day. I know. I'm going to give them some as well. They're such nice guppies. If you haven't seen the adults, where are they? There's the adults in there. Oh, female sitting on the bottom. Looks like she's given birth. That's a shame because I haven't taken her out. So most of her babies will probably be eaten because they love to eat their own babies. There's some babies in there. If you enjoyed this quick video, click the thumbs up so I know. Have to deal with my lettuce, won't I? Anyway, see you in the next video.